"Hey, get your dirty hands off that car!" The salesman screamed, grabbing the phone from the construction worker's hand. "You're getting dirt all over my showroom. Sit your ass on the curb before I call the cops." He treated the man like a criminal just because of his work clothes. He had no idea that this worker wasn't just buying a car. He was buying the entire dealership. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Good. An hour was perfect, long enough for this guy to really understand he'd made a mistake. 8 minutes passed. Danny stood guard at the entrance, arms crossed, playing sentry. Inside, he could see his co-workers whispering, pointing. The couple he'd been helping had wandered off to look at a different vehicle with another salesman. He'd deal with that later. Marcus finally stood up from the curb. Slow, measured movements. He brushed some dirt off his work pants and started walking back toward the entrance. "Look," Marcus said, and his voice was still calm, still controlled in a way that made Danny's teeth grind. "There's been a misunderstanding. I came here to buy a car. Check my wallet. I have a business card, ID, everything." Danny didn't move from the doorway. He planted his feet wider, taking up more space. "I don't care about your fake cards," Danny said. "You people always have forged documents." Marcus's eyes narrowed slightly. "You people? What exactly do you mean by that?" Danny felt a flush of anger. Now the guy was trying to make him look bad, trying to twist this into something it wasn't. "Construction workers who wander into places they can't afford," Danny said, loud enough that everyone inside could hear, clear enough that there was no confusion. "This isn't a hardware store. This is Prestige Motors. We sell to executives, CEOs, people with real money, not guys who smell like a concrete mixer." Behind him, Danny heard footsteps. One of his co-workers, Trevor, appeared at his shoulder. Trevor was younger, still new, still soft. "Danny," Trevor said quietly, urgently. "Maybe just let him go? He's not causing any trouble. The cops are taking forever anyway." Danny whipped around to face him. "No, I'm protecting our clientele. These people need to learn boundaries. You want someone like this making our real customers uncomfortable? You want them tracking dirt all over our showroom? Use your head, Trevor." Trevor backed away, hands up in surrender. Danny turned back to Marcus, who was still standing there, still calm, still watching with those calculating eyes. That calm was starting to really piss Danny off. Marcus reached into his back pocket slowly, deliberately, and pulled out a worn leather wallet. He opened it and started to remove something. "I'm going to show you my business card and my ID," Marcus said, his voice still measured and calm. "Then I'm going to show you my credit card. After that, we can end this peacefully." Danny saw the flash of black plastic as Marcus pulled out a card. American Express Centurion, the black card. He felt a spike of irritation. Danny lunged forward and snatched the wallet right out of Marcus's hands. Marcus's fingers closed on empty air. "Oh, please," Danny said, holding the wallet up mockingly. "You can buy those replica cards on Amazon for $20. You think I was born yesterday?" He walked over to the trash can by the entrance, the large stainless steel one they used for the coffee bar inside. With exaggerated motions, he dropped the wallet inside. It landed with a dull thud on top of crumpled napkins and empty cups. "Oops," Danny said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Marcus's expression finally changed. His jaw tightened, his shoulders squared. When he spoke, his voice had lost every trace of warmth. "You need to stop," Marcus said quietly, "right now." But Danny was on a roll now. He reached into his own pocket and pulled out the business card he'd seen Marcus trying to show him earlier. Thompson Construction. Some cheap cardstock, probably printed at a Kinko's. Danny held it up between two fingers, made sure Marcus was watching, and tore it cleanly in half. Then he tore those halves in half again. He let the pieces flutter to the ground like confetti. "Thompson Construction?" Danny said mockingly. "More like Thompson Con Artist. You're not fooling anyone, buddy." Marcus took one step forward. Just one. But something in his body language made Danny's hindbrain scream a warning. This wasn't a guy who was going to back down. This wasn't a guy who was afraid. You just destroyed my property twice now, Marcus said, and his voice had gone cold as January. This is your last chance to walk this back. Give me my wallet. Give me my phone. Apologize, and we can both forget this happened. Or what? Danny shot back. You'll call your lawyer? With what phone? At that moment, a car pulled into the lot. A pristine white Cadillac Escalade. Danny recognized the vehicle immediately. The Pattersons. Regular customers. They'd bought 3 cars from this dealership in the last 5 years. Mrs. Patterson, a woman in her 60s with silver hair and a Chanel purse, stepped out first. Her husband followed, tall and distinguished in a polo shirt and khakis. They both froze when they saw the scene. Danny standing in the doorway, Marcus standing 10 feet away, covered in work dust. The torn business card pieces on the ground. Mrs. Patterson's hand went to her chest. Danny, what's going on? Is he dangerous? Danny saw his opportunity. He pivoted toward the Pattersons, his expression shifting instantly to concern and reassurance. Don't worry, Mrs. Patterson, Danny said smoothly, projecting his voice. I've called the police. He tried to break into one of our vehicles. Everything's under control. Marcus's head snapped toward Danny. That's a lie, and you know it. Is it? Danny pulled out Marcus's phone again, holding it up like a prosecutor presenting evidence. The cracked screen caught the sunlight. Look at this phone. You think someone who can afford our cars walks around with garbage like this? Look at him. Construction boots, paint all over his clothes. Does he look like a Prestige Motors customer to you? Mr. Patterson put a protective arm around his wife. Should we come back later? No, please come in, Danny said, gesturing welcomingly. Trevor will take excellent care of you. This situation is handled. The Pattersons hurried past, giving Marcus a wide berth. Mrs. Patterson actually clutched her purse tighter as she passed him. Marcus watched them go, his expression unreadable. 23 minutes had passed since Danny called the police. The dispatcher had said low priority. Could be another hour. Could be 2. Marcus stood up from where he'd been standing and started walking toward his truck. I'm leaving, Marcus said over his shoulder. You can keep the phone. My lawyers will get it back through discovery, along with the security footage, along with everything else. Discovery. Lawyers. This guy was really committed to the act. Danny moved fast. He crossed the distance between them in 4 quick steps and put both hands on Marcus's shoulders, shoving him backward. Not hard enough to knock him down, but hard enough to make a point. Sit down, Danny barked. You move. I'll tell the cops you attacked me. I've got witnesses inside who saw you get aggressive. Marcus stumbled back a step but caught his balance. He looked down at where Danny's hands had been on his shoulders, then back up at Danny's face. You just committed assault, Marcus said softly. On camera. He pointed up. Danny's eyes followed. The security camera mounted above the entrance, wide-angle lens, pointed directly at them. Danny felt a flutter of unease but pushed it down. So what? The footage would show exactly what he'd been saying all along. A suspicious individual trespassing on dealership property. The glass door behind him opened. Greg Marston, the dealership manager, stepped out. 52 years old, gray hair, perpetually tired eyes. He'd been in his office doing paperwork and had clearly just been alerted to the situation. Danny, what the hell is going on? Greg demanded. You're making a scene. I can hear you from inside my office. This guy was casing the lot, Danny said, pointing at Marcus. He's probably scouting for a theft ring. I've got it under control, Greg. Police are on the way. Greg looked at Marcus, at the work uniform, at the dirt on his boots. His expression was skeptical, but not dismissive. Marcus turned to address Greg directly, and his entire demeanor shifted. More formal, more professional. Sir, my name is Marcus Thompson, he said clearly. I own Thompson Construction. I came here this morning to purchase multiple vehicles for my executive team. Your employee assaulted me, stole my phone, destroyed my property, and falsely imprisoned me. All of it is on your security cameras. Greg blinked. Thompson Construction? I've never heard of it. We built the Riverside Commons Mall, Marcus said evenly. The Ocean View Medical Center, the Harbor District Mixed-Use Complex. And... He paused, and Danny saw something shift in his eyes, a decision being made. We've been renovating your corporate headquarters downtown for the last 6 months. The color drained from Greg's face like someone had pulled a plug. Wait, Greg said slowly. The $30 million contract? $32 million, Marcus corrected. We're also about to break ground on your new flagship dealership in Santa Monica. Groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for 3 weeks from now. Or it was. Danny felt something cold settle in his stomach. No. This was still a con. It had to be. Guys like this didn't run companies that did $30 million contracts. Look at him. Look at his clothes. Greg, he's bluffing, Danny said, and he hated that his voice came out higher than normal. Look at him. He's covered in paint. I was on a job site this morning, Marcus said, still addressing Greg, completely ignoring Danny now. We're pouring foundation for a medical building in Pasadena. I left early to come here, to buy cars. 12 of them, actually. One for each of my senior project managers. Budget of $1.4 million, give or take. Greg's mouth opened and closed. No sound came out. Marcus continued, his voice still calm, but now carrying an edge like a scalpel. But before we discuss that, Greg, let me ask you a question. Who's your landlord? Who do you pay rent to every month for this lot? Greg looked confused by the change in subject. Coastal Properties Management Group. Why? Marcus walked past Danny like he wasn't even there, went to his truck and opened the passenger door. He pulled out an iPad in a heavy-duty case, tapped the screen a few times, walked back and held it out to Greg. I am Coastal Properties, Marcus said quietly. I own this entire plaza, including the land your dealership sits on. Your lease comes up for renewal in 4 months. Greg took the iPad with shaking hands. Danny watched over his shoulder, his heart pounding in his ears. The screen showed a lease agreement. Official letterhead, Coastal Properties Management Group, LLC. Tenant, Prestige Motors, Beverly Hills. Monthly rent, $45,000. Landlord signature at the bottom, Marcus J. Thompson. Danny's knees went weak. He grabbed the hood of the Mercedes-AMG GT to steady himself. No, Danny whispered. No, that's photoshopped. He made that on his computer. Greg, don't... Your corporate office is on speed dial in my phone, Marcus said, and his voice was still calm, still controlled, but now there was steel underneath it. The one your employee stole, let's call them together. Greg's hands fumbled for his own phone. He nearly dropped it twice before getting it unlocked. His fingers stabbed at the screen. Hi, this is Greg Marston at the Beverly Hills location, Greg said, and his voice was shaking. I need to verify something. Do we have a landlord contact on file for our plaza lease? The voice on speakerphone was crisp and professional. Female. Administrative. Yes, sir. Our plaza owner is Marcus Thompson of Thompson Enterprises. He also holds the contract for our headquarters renovation downtown. Is there a problem? The phone slipped from Greg's hand. It clattered on the pavement, but didn't break. Danny felt the world tilting sideways. His mouth had gone completely dry. He tried to speak, but no words came out. Marcus picked up Greg's phone from the ground and handed it back to him. No problem, Marcus said into the phone, his voice pleasant now, almost friendly. Just verifying some information. Thank you. He ended the call. The sound of a police siren cut through the shocked silence. Danny's head whipped around. A black and white LAPD cruiser pulled into the lot, lights flashing. 2 officers stepped out. The first was Officer Rivera, a woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and her hair pulled back tight. The second was Officer Chen, younger, hand resting casually near his belt. Danny felt a surge of relief. Finally. The cops would sort this out. They'd see Marcus was trespassing, making threats, causing a disturbance. Danny ran toward them before they'd even reached the sidewalk. Officers, thank God. Danny's words came out in a rush. This man was trespassing on dealership property and tried to steal. Sir, I need you to slow down, Officer Rivera said, holding up a hand. Marcus walked over calmly, hands visible at his sides. Professional, unthreatening. Officers, I'm the victim here, Marcus said evenly. My name is Marcus Thompson. I came to this dealership this morning to purchase vehicles. This employee assaulted me, stole my phone, destroyed my personal property, and falsely imprisoned me by blocking my exit and threatening to falsely accuse me of assault if I tried to leave. All of it is recorded on their security cameras." Officer Chen's eyebrows went up. "Security cameras?" "But he's lying," Danny protested. "He was casing our vehicles. He looked suspicious. I was protecting—" "Do you have the cameras?" Officer Rivera asked Greg, who was still standing there looking like he might vomit. "Yes," Greg said weakly. "Yes, I can pull the footage right now." "Please do that," Rivera said. They all moved inside. The showroom had gone completely silent. Every salesperson, every customer was watching. Trevor stood by the Porsche, his face pale. The Pattersons were frozen near the Range Rover display. Greg led them to the back office where the security monitors were set up. His hands shook as he rewound the footage. The first clip showed Danny snatching the phone from Marcus's hands. The second showed Danny blocking the doorway, pointing at the curb. The third showed Danny throwing Marcus's wallet in the trash. The fourth showed Danny tearing up the business card. The fifth showed Danny shoving Marcus backward with both hands. Every single action, crystal clear, multiple angles. Officer Rivera's expression hardened with each clip. "Sir," she said, turning to Danny, "I'm going to need you to step outside." "But he was," Danny started. "Outside now." Rivera's voice left no room for argument. Officer Chen stayed inside with Marcus and Greg. Rivera walked Danny out to the parking lot, one hand near her cuffs. "But I was protecting the dealership," Danny said desperately. "Look at him. Does he look like he belongs here?" "What he looks like is irrelevant," Rivera said coldly. "What I just watched on camera is assault, theft, destruction of property, and false imprisonment. You understand those are crimes, correct?" Danny's world was collapsing. I didn't mean, I was just doing my job." "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "What? No, you can't." "I can and I am. You're being detained pending investigation." The handcuffs clicked around Danny's wrists. Cold metal, tight, real. Inside, Marcus was on his phone. His assistant had called. He put it on speaker so Officer Chen could hear. "Boss, you need to see this," the assistant was saying. "You're trending on Twitter. Someone posted video of what happened. It's got 4 million views in 2 hours." Marcus closed his eyes briefly. "Which customer?" "Looks like 3 different people filmed it. The angles are all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. The hashtag is Prestige Motors Racism. It's the #2 trend in the United States right now." Greg made a sound like a wounded animal. Officer Chen looked at his own phone and whistled low. "He's not kidding. It's everywhere." Marcus's phone started buzzing continuously. Notifications, hundreds of them. His Instagram, his Twitter, his LinkedIn, messages of support, messages of outrage, news outlets asking for interviews. "Greg," Marcus said quietly, "get your corporate VP on the line now. Put it on the showroom display." "The display?" Greg looked confused. "The 80-inch TV you use for car presentations," Marcus clarified. "I want everyone to see this." Greg's hands trembled as he made the call. He connected his laptop to the big screen mounted on the showroom wall. Within 30 seconds, a video call window opened. Sarah Mitchell appeared on screen, VP of West Coast Operations, power suit, sharp eyes. She was in what looked like a home office. "Greg, what's this about? I'm getting alerts that we're trending on social media for all the wrong reasons." Marcus stepped into frame. "Ms. Mitchell, my name is Marcus Thompson. I'm your landlord for this location. I'm also your contractor on the headquarters renovation downtown. And as of 1 hour ago, I was planning to purchase 12 vehicles from this dealership for my company fleet. Total value, approximately $1.4 million. Sarah's eyes widened. "Mr. Thompson, I recognize you from the Ocean View project signing. What happened?" Marcus told her, calmly, factually, every detail. The phone theft, the wallet in the trash, the torn business card, the physical assault, the false imprisonment. While he talked, the camera panned across the showroom. Every employee was watching the screen. Every customer. Trevor looked sick. The Pattersons were filming on their phones, adding to the viral pile. Through the window, Danny could be seen in handcuffs, Officer Rivera reading him his Miranda rights. When Marcus finished, Sarah's face had gone from concern to cold fury. "Let me see the employee," she said, her voice like ice. Officer Chen moved the laptop angle so the camera pointed through the glass door. Danny's face filled the screen, handcuffs glinting, face red, eyes wet. "Danny Whitmore, badge number 4782?" Sarah asked. Danny's mouth moved, but no sound came through the glass. "Your employment is terminated effective immediately," Sarah said, each word precise and sharp. "Your commission structure is voided. Your bonuses are forfeit. You will be escorted off all company properties. Our legal team will be contacting you regarding personal liability for the damages you've caused this company. Do you understand?" Danny's knees buckled. Officer Rivera caught him before he hit the pavement. Sarah turned back to Marcus. "Mr. Thompson, on behalf of Prestige Motors and our parent company, I offer you my sincerest apologies. This is unacceptable, unconscionable. We will fully cooperate with any legal action you choose to pursue." "I appreciate that," Marcus said quietly. "Is there anything we can do to make this right?" Marcus paused, thought about it. "I'll still need those 12 vehicles, but I think I'll purchase them from Elite Motors across the street. I've heard good things about their sales team." Sarah closed her eyes. Elite Motors was their biggest competitor. I understand. The call ended. The showroom was silent except for the hum of the air conditioning. Marcus's phone buzzed again. He looked at the screen, his assistant again. "Boss, news vans are pulling up outside." Marcus looked out the window. Sure enough, 3 satellite trucks were parking along the street. KTLA Channel 7, Fox 11, reporters climbing out, camera operators right behind them. A reporter in a blue blazer was already doing a stand-up in front of the dealership. "We're here at Prestige Motors in Beverly Hills, where a shocking assault has just cost this dealership their largest contractor and landlord," the reporter was saying into the camera. The incident, captured on multiple cell phones and security cameras, has already gone viral with over 6 million views. Danny was being guided into the back of the police cruiser, his head down, hands still cuffed. The cameras captured every second. Marcus turned to Officer Chen. "Am I free to go?" "We'll need a formal statement," Chen said, "but you can come by the station later today. Here's my card." Marcus took it, nodded. He looked at Greg, who seemed to have aged 10 years in the last hour. "Greg, I want to be clear about something," Marcus said. "This isn't about revenge. This is about respect. I treat everyone with dignity until they prove they don't deserve it. Your employee made his choice. He judged me by my clothes instead of my character. That's on him." "I'm so sorry," Greg whispered. "If there's anything—" "There is one thing," Marcus said. "Every employee in this dealership needs bias training. Real training, not corporate checkbox training. The kind that actually changes behavior. Make it happen." Yes, absolutely." Marcus walked out of the showroom. The news cameras immediately swiveled toward him. Reporters rushed over shouting questions. "Mr. Thompson, can you tell us what happened?" "Mr. Thompson, will you be pressing charges?" "Mr. Thompson, is it true you're the landlord?" Marcus raised a hand. The question stopped. "I came here today to buy cars," he said simply. "I was judged by my appearance instead of my intentions. I was assaulted and robbed. Everything else, you've seen on video. Thank you." He climbed into his Ford F-150 and drove away, leaving the circus behind him. 6 months later, the lobby of Thompson Enterprises headquarters gleamed with polished marble and floor-to-ceiling windows. 15 stories of steel and glass in downtown Los Angeles. The crown jewel of Marcus's empire. In the center of the lobby, mounted on the wall behind the reception desk, was a photograph in a custom frame. 12 vehicles. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Lexus, all black, all pristine, all purchased from Elite Motors the same day as the incident. Marcus stood in front of the photograph, adjusting his tie. He was wearing a Tom Ford suit today, charcoal gray, custom fitted. He had a community event in an hour, a ribbon cutting for a new youth construction training program his company was funding. His assistant appeared at his elbow. "Boss, the cameras are here for the interview. Channel 4 wants to talk about the program." "Let 'em know I'll be right there." Marcus walked to the windows and looked out at the city. Somewhere out there, Prestige Motors was still operating, under new management, with new policies. Greg had retired early. Sarah Mitchell had personally overseen the restructuring. The old location, the one where everything had happened, was now a Thompson Construction Equipment Center. Marcus had chosen not to renew their lease. The building was his to do with as he pleased. His phone buzzed a news alert. Former Prestige Motors employee sentenced. Marcus opened the article. Danny Whitmore had pleaded guilty to assault, theft, and false imprisonment. 90 days in county jail, 300 hours of community service, and a permanent ban from working in the luxury automotive industry. His social media had been deleted. His Instagram, once boasting 12,000 followers, was gone entirely. Marcus closed the article. He didn't feel joy. He didn't feel vindication. He felt tired. Across town, at a used car lot called Buy Right Auto, Danny Whitmore was washing a 2008 Honda Civic. 95-degree heat. No shade. His polo shirt stuck to his back with sweat. His hands, once soft and manicured, were now rough and cracked. His coworker, a kid barely 20, was eating lunch under the small awning by the office. "Yo, Danny," the kid called. "You almost done? We got 3 more on the line." "Yeah," Danny called back hoarsely. "Almost done." He scrubbed at a stubborn spot on the hood. $8.50 an hour plus commission. He'd sold 2 cars this month. His total take-home had been less than $600. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it. It was probably his landlord. He was 3 weeks behind on rent. The video still surfaced sometimes. Someone would recognize him. Post it again. The cycle would start over. He'd had to move twice, change his number 3 times. He finished with the Civic and moved on to a Chevy Malibu with a dented fender. Back at Thompson Enterprises, Marcus was in front of the cameras now, smiling, shaking hands with city officials. Behind him, a banner read, "Second Chances Construction Program, hiring 200 formerly incarcerated individuals." "Everyone deserves respect," Marcus was saying to the reporter. "Everyone deserves a chance." That's what this program is about. Giving people the tools and opportunity to rebuild their lives, to prove that they're more than their worst moment. The reporter nodded. "And what about your worst moment, Mr. Thompson? The incident at Prestige Motors. Any regrets about how that played out?" Marcus thought about it for a long moment. "I regret that it happened at all," he said finally. "I regret that someone judged me so quickly and so wrongly. But I don't regret standing up for myself. I don't regret making sure there were consequences. Respect is non-negotiable. Dignity is non-negotiable. Those aren't luxuries. They're human rights." He paused. "I didn't buy those 12 cars for revenge. I bought them because I needed them. But I did choose to take my business elsewhere to prove a point." "What point was that?" Marcus smiled, but there was no humor in it. "Never judge someone by their work clothes. You never know who built the ground you're standing on." The interview wrapped. Marcus shook more hands, posed for more photos. His team was waiting to brief him on the next project. A hospital in San Diego, $200 million, groundbreaking in 8 weeks. As he walked back into his building, he passed the framed photograph of the 12 cars again. He paused, pulled out his phone, opened his photos and scrolled back 6 months. There it was, the picture he'd tried to take that morning, the Mercedes-AMG GT, black, beautiful, before everything went sideways. He'd ended up buying one after all, from Elite Motors. It was parked in his reserved spot in the garage downstairs. He smiled to himself and kept walking. Behind him, the photograph gleamed in the afternoon light, a reminder, a trophy, a warning. Never judge a book by its cover, especially when that book owns the library. I hope you enjoyed that story. Please like the video and subscribe so that you do not miss out on the next one. In the meantime, I have handpicked 2 stories for you that I think you will enjoy. Have a great day.